everybody, my name is Miss Nickerson, and today we're going to talk about area and perimeter, why it's so important, and how to solve for it. So I'm going to use a new tool today called Google Cursive. If you've ever used Canvas for Chrome, it's very similar, but this one is updated with more cool features, and there's just a lot more that you can do with it. So to get started, I'm at cursive.apps.chrome. And you can decide if you want a new note or just a new notebook to keep a collection of all the notes that you're going to take for a long period of time. Since I'm only teaching this lesson one time, I'm just going to create a new note. So here, Google Cursive is going to give me a page that never ends. So I can scroll as much as I want to, and I can continue to take notes, and the page never ends. And there are also some cool capabilities that I have, such as importing a picture, which I'm going to do in this lesson, as well as highlighting and changing the color of my marker. So to get started with area and perimeter, first we need to know what that even means. So perimeter is the distance around a shape, and area is the distance inside of a shape. So to get us started, I'm just going to draw a simple rectangle that's going to explain more of what I mean. So over here on Google Cursive, I'm going to pick either my marker, highlighter, or line drawing tool. So I'm going to pick my line drawing tool since I'm drawing a rectangle. So I'm going to start with a rectangle that is 3 by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's also really nice on Google Cursive that you get this grid paper, so it's super useful for area and perimeter. So I'm going to make sure that I label my sides too. So I know that this area is 3, and I'm just going to call it units for now. This side has 5 units. And since this is a rectangle, that means that this side is going to be the same as this side. So I know that this is 3 units. I could have also counted 1, 2, 3. And same for this side. I know that since I have a rectangle, this side is going to be the same as this side. So this is going to be 5 units as well. So when we were talking about area and perimeter, remember we said that area is the space inside. Perimeter is the distance around. So for this rectangle, we can see right here that my perimeter would be the whole area around, so whatever I would walk. So I'm going to use my highlighter tool to show you. I'm going to pick yellow, and I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. So perimeter would be all of this area. Well, all of this distance around my shape. Now, area is going to be a little bit different, so I'm going to pick a different color. Since area is all of the inside of the shape, that is going to be everything inside of my rectangle. So that's how the two are a little bit different. So I'm going to show you how to solve. So back to my marker tool here. For area, I'm going to solve that one first, so I'm going to match the color here. So my area, the formula for that is length times width. So length is how long your rectangle is, and width is how wide it is right here. So the formula for that is going to be 3 times 5. Well, 5 times 3, because 5 is my length, 3 is my width. So I'm going to do 5 times 3. So then I find that my area is going to be 15. Now it's not just going to be units, it's going to be units squared. And I'm going to show you what that means. So since we have this awesome Google Cursive grid paper, I can easily explain this to you. So right here, if I were to extend this grid paper and draw it out square by square, this is what I would get. 1. So that is my 3 times 5. So if you've already learned multiplication, you should know about arrays, which would look like 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since multiplication is repeated addition, we can see here that I can either add 3 5 times or add 5 3 times. So even if you don't know how to multiply yet, you can still find area by using repeated addition. So here I could say 5, 10, 15. And that is how I know how to find my answer. And when you do area, you are finding square units inside of this shape. So that's why it's units squared. And you can either write out square units or units with the 2 at the top like that, and that means squared. So now I found that my area is 15 square units. So now I need to solve for my perimeter. So I'm going to change the color of my marker to match up for perimeter. So for perimeter, I need to find the distance around, and perimeter is adding all of the side lengths to see how long it would take you to walk around a shape. So I see that I have a 3, I have a 5, I have another 3, and I have another 5. I know that 5 and 5 is going to give me 10, plus 3 and 3 is 6. So 10 plus 6 is 16 units. Now when it comes to perimeter, you do not need to say units squared because they aren't square units. You are just simply walking around. So it is just 16 units. So now that we know how to solve for area and perimeter, I'm going to give us a real world example. So I'm going to scroll and see how my page keeps extending. I don't have to start a new page or start a new note. And I'm going to import a real world example for you all. So I have a picture here of a soccer field, and we're going to make up some units here so that we can go ahead and use this example. So let me find a color here. I'm going to keep it with the soccer theme and use a green color. So let's say that this soccer field is 50 feet by 10 feet. If I wanted to find that area, first of all, why would I even need to find that area? Maybe I want to know how much distance I have to work with, so when I go practice at home, I can create an area that has a similar area to the soccer field so that when I'm practicing at home, it will be similar to when I go to my real practice or when I go to my soccer game, and I will be more familiar with the area that I have around me. So if I wanted to measure the area of a soccer field, I know that I multiply the length times the width. I also know that since I'm working with a rectangle here, this side that has 10 feet is going to be the same on this side, and the side that has 50 feet is going to be congruent to the side over here with 50 feet, and congruent just means the exact same. So for my area, I'm going to say 50 feet times 10 feet. So 5 times 10 is 50, and then I'm going to add an extra 0 because it was 50. So 50 times 10 is 500. And then I can write square feet. If I wasn't comfortable with multiplication, remember that you can use repeated addition. So I could add 50 10 times, and I would still end up with the same answer of 500 square feet. Now for perimeter, I need to add all of my side lengths together. So I know that since this side here is 50 feet, this side is also going to be 50 feet. And since over here I have 10 feet, this is also going to be 10 feet. So now that I solved for those mystery sides, I can go ahead and add them all together. So I'm going to add 50 plus 10 plus 50 plus 10. I know that 50 plus 50 is going to give me 100, and 10 plus 10 is going to give me 20. 100 plus 20 is 120, and then I'm just going to write feet. And that would be if I were to walk the whole perimeter of this soccer field, I would walk 120 feet. So that is the basic intro to area and perimeter, and now you know how to find area and perimeter. So next time we're going to work with finding the area and perimeter of irregular shapes. But this was a basic intro using rectangles, and I will see you on the next lesson.